One of the most common characteristics of successful people is that they ask questions. And not just any questions, they ask good questions. And my friend Bob Tiede has compiled a book. It's called 340 Questions Jesus Asked. And you don't necessarily need to be a Christian or be a follower of Jesus in order to get a lot out of this book. What I found is if you follow amazing leaders, and I would say that Jesus Christ is one of the, or if not the most notable leader in the history of mankind. This book is full of his questions, the questions that he asked his disciples. And one question he asked the Apostle Paul in the book of Acts. The way the book is compiled is basically the questions themselves, and then he gives you an opportunity to share notes, your thoughts about these questions. And what I know about questions and good questions is that you're able to draw out of people information that's going to be able to set you up for greater measures of success. So if you're a good question asker, you're probably a great salesperson. You think about a doctor, for example. If you walked into a doctor's office and you said, doctor, I've got this pain in my chest, and immediately he prescribes you something and says, okay, well, obviously you have got, there's some indication that maybe you have a heart issue or whatever it may be, but would you trust a doctor that never asked you any questions? Of course you wouldn't. So in this case, maybe you got hit hard in the chest, is in the case when I used to play football. And that would be a good reason that your chest would hurt. And there could be any number of reasons why you would have pain in your chest or chest pain of some kind. This is just a silly example of how people can make better diagnostics and help other people, because I do believe that our purpose here on this planet is to, of course, honor God, but then to serve people and serve them at the highest levels. And the best way that we can serve people at the highest levels is that we ask great questions so that we can get the information that we need for them to help them solve that problem. I think about learning Spanish, and it's easy to pretend like you understand people, even when you don't. And there were times when people were laughing. I was in another country, and I was in a group of people where obviously people were having a great time, and I was lost. I just didn't know what was really happening. And I could have just pretended that I knew what was going on and laughed along with everybody, but I really wanted to know the joke. I wanted to know why everyone was laughing. So to take the risk and expose myself that, I don't understand Spanish as well as you may think I do, would make me vulnerable. But I was willing to be vulnerable in order to be able to join that community and understand the joke. And of course, as you ask questions, now you begin to understand what certain things mean, whether it's in another language or in your own language. So I want to encourage you to reach out to Bob Tiede. He has a website. It's leadingwithquestions.com, and he's written a book called Leading with Questions, and has a bunch of materials. Bob is an amazing guy. I've had a chance to get to know him, and he's been just impressive in lifelong experience. He's a man of faith. He's someone that you can trust. And he's someone who's curious and who's challenging people to think about the kinds of questions that are going to help make them the people that I believe God wants you to be. So anyway, take time to check out his latest contribution in the world. It's 340 questions Jesus asked. And I think you'll find it interesting to ponder these questions and see how they may apply to your life and the conversations and the questions you may ask of others.